Good day, all. Ira Epstein of Linn & Associates with your metals market update, and this update is for Tuesday, and we're at the 15th of January, 2020, and we're just after the 2:30 time frame, right in that zone. Well, as you can see, gold up, and this is Feb gold. I'm going to leave that today, but I'm going to put up in the charts are now April, and that's where I think you should be moving. But up $12 there, silver up 27 cents, and the stock market, which had set new highs this morning, is suddenly reversing. I want you to remember this fact: buy the rumor, sell the facts sometimes. I have been telling my clientele, my subscribers to my research, that it was best to go through this with what? As a futures trader, I'm sidelined. Why? You got a new game in town. I don't know what this deal means for the U.S.-Chinese trade. It's 86 pages long. I admit I haven't read it yet. I will. USMCA deals right in front of us. Larry Kudlow at about 2:05 or so today. I saw him on with Liz Clayman on Fox Business. He said the USMCA deal could come up to for the Senate as early as tomorrow or Friday. That's a good thing. Remember, Mexico and Canada are bigger trade partners of ours than China is. Then we have the impeachment, and we're going to see this evening. The definite prosecutors, if you will, from the House walk across the street, deliver the impeachment articles to the Senate, and we'll start hearing talk about that in the news each day, and the trial probably beginning right after Monday, Martin Luther King Day. Remember, Monday got all the pit markets will be closed. I think the electronics are open. But we have a market that's settling down in the energies, and this is after the signing of the deal. We have natural gas, which I told you, that rally, be careful of for those of you that watch my financial videos. And in the grain markets, wow, you would think soybeans would have been up, right? Well, how much of that's already built and baked into the market? Again, buy the rumor, sell the fact mentality could be here, and you're down in that market. Dollar index a bit lower as a number of currencies are higher. I'm watching with interest where the euro is going to close. The resistance is right here at the 1191 zone, so we'll see what that does. On the weekly chart of closes on gold, market good recovery today. It's still open, but the settlement, remember, is at 1230, so you're in this general zone, and you're still down about $3.9 for the week. When we take a look at the current chart action, notice that since you have filled the gap, you really haven't gone much one way or the other in the market. That gap was left between this high to right there. So the market trying to figure out which way is next. The current pattern is bearish. You've got still lower highs and a lower low. What number in the April gold will negate the bear pattern? Taking out 1570.30 on the current pattern. That would give you a lower low and then a higher high. Where's the key moving averages? Right under us. I was hoping, and I don't know if I'm going to see it now, that price would get to that 18-day average. It still could. This could be a rally today, and this average is going to jump tomorrow. Now, that average is jumping to the tune of about $4 a day right now. So assuming it's in that neighborhood, you'll be in the 1542 zone tomorrow. We've already gotten there yesterday. That means a small pullback could take you back there. But small is not as small as it sounds. That's $20. I don't know that you'll do that or not. The bias is up, the trend is down. Why is the bias up? Whenever you're over the 18-day average, I consider bias up. Under it, bias down. Neutral is right on the average itself or just about on it. Momentum. Still have this market with downside momentum. So we have the trend down. We have the momentum down, but the bias is up, and neutral zone is 1538.5, but that should jump about $4 tomorrow. In GLD, very similar situation. First, you had an embedded reading that you lost, and it stayed lost. That often leads to price in the 18-day average, just like it did in futures, making a run at each other. You rallied today. We're still open. Remember, you got about a half hour of trading in round figures left here. You've got lower highs, lower lows. So you've got the swing line down, but the bias up, and you're in an overbought condition. When we come to the gold-silver ratio, it's still not favoring silver. It still favors gold. And yes, today the gold is losing back to the silver, but it's still over that 18-week average. So my bias is still, and I use the word bias, in favor of the gold market. And when I look at silver, it, unlike gold, and we'll get to that in a minute, is doing something different. Let's go to GDX. I don't want to confuse you there. I think I'm going to change those charts around so I get this up, and then I'm going to put the gold silver. You've had lower highs, lower lows. First support zone would be the combination of an area right here, but the number of the 18-day average would have been the very first support. So if you're breaking down, I'd look for that to be the area. If you get a bounce and play around in there, it could be as low as the 100-day area. It could even be lower, but that's the general zone. And today the market did an important thing. It got back over the last high. So what we have now is no trend. We have a market that stepped out of its downtrend. It now has a lower low, higher high, and momentum is trying to flatten itself out. When we go to the juniors, it's same thing. So you've got the higher high, lower low, momentum flattening out. You stepped out of, in the mining stocks, the downtrend. When I come to the silver market, my brain again was ahead of what I knew was taking place here. And I don't practice these, I just know the charts. Lower high, lower low. Again, the 18 to the 100-day average. When they're that close, you look to see, can the market just slice through that zone, or what does it mean? Today you're getting a bit of a rally. Not like the GDX, you didn't take out the previous high of 1817.5, so you're still in a downtrend, but you've negated the bias. The bias is now to the upside as long as the price goes over 1790.70, and I've already seen the settlement. It will. Momentum still down. In the copper market ran into a brick wall at the upper Bollinger Band, backed off. You can see today it was down to 283.65, but the chart action is still impressive. You still have the higher lows, higher highs. You are overbought. You're at a resistance area. That's not bearish. You've run into your zone of resistance, but the overall trend and the bias is still to the upside. Platinum, bye-bye. Is this a breakout? That's going to be the big question. Remember what I taught you. When you have sideways action, it's typical that if you're breaking out, you will get overbought. If you have sideways action and you break out to the downside, typically at first you get oversold. So is this market got legs to it? We're going to find out. Look at the Palladium. Gone, baby, gone. New all-time high. Remember what we were talking about? The shorts are nailed in this market. This is it. I wish I knew these things that I share with you 40 years ago when I was learning charting 50 years ago. I once saw potatoes go down the limit, I think it was 25 days in a row. And I looked at it and I said, I can't believe that. You show up at work, potatoes, they don't even trade them anymore. But it was the most insane thing I'd ever seen. And you learn from all that. Well, that's like this, fighting a trend for some traders. And I remember people saying, it can't keep going down. It can't keep going up. Bye-bye. It can keep going up. In the dollar index, you stepped out of the uptrend. Now you've got a higher high, lower low, overbought condition with upside bias. You've neutralized this particular leg. You know, one of the things that I did is I did a special report for you yesterday. And it's on the energy, specifically in the gasoline market. And the reason I did it in gasoline is, as we're here in January, so many people think gasoline just falls at this time of the year and doesn't get a bid. Seasonally, that's not exactly correct. The seasonals often point to something different, and if you want to find out what they point to, you're going to have to look at my report. But the report's got the 15, the 30, and the 5-year seasonals, price counts. And I will say, you already hit an upside objective, and now the market has to digest that. I did the weekly charts for you, and I teach you how to put them together with all the studies, then the daily. How do you get to see it? Go to www.iraepstein.com. Under the word research, you'll see the gasoline report. View it there. I'm Ira Epstein. If you have any questions, call my staff. You can always click up here to get to those reports, and you have a good trading day.